Hey, what's up there? Red and gold, faithful, hanging with the ninernut. And of course, we are talking about Sunday's loss, choke, disaster to the Arizona Cardinals. And at this point, I really don't know what to make of. I really don't know what to make of this whole thing. I mean, obviously, Sunday's game was a terrible loss. Um, I think it's a game that going into the week, we knew that it wasn't going to be a rollover game because Arizona, for the most part, has played, except for one game, pretty darn close this season, and you kind of felt that they were obviously not one of the more dynamic teams in football. They're not in the top five, whatever you want to call it, but that doesn't mean that they weren't going to be somewhat of a pain in the ass. And it's amazing to me how Kyler Murray in this game, first of all, that run that he made, obviously, I give him a lot of credit coming back from the injury he came back from, able to still generate the same speed to the way he was when he came into the season. But let me tell you something. It was a good play for sure, but the defense was faked beyond belief. And I guess it does happen at times, right? Great players make great plays sometimes. That's just the talent level in this league. But did we ever look lost on that one play? Even though from that point on we took over the game, it didn't really matter because in the end, what happened? We choked, and you felt it slipping away as you were watching that game. I felt it slipping away watching that game. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming at any moment. You were waiting for it, and I think that's become the mo so far of the season. All except for the Jet game and the Patriot game. I expected it to slip away. The Ram game and the Cardinal game were pretty much mirror images of themselves. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know what it is. I've seen various different people's opinion, primarily 49ers fans, and a lot of it, I think, has to do with people saying this team, I think Richard Sherman said it best, this team just is, you know, is losing games they're not supposed to lose, and winning teams don't do that. And then I know Shavarius Ward had I don't know what it was, I guess like a post or something on social media talking about that this year doesn't feel right. It's weird. Something's weird. Yeah, there is something weird, man. I don't think any of us know what that is. Because let's break down so far what has happened. Let's just break down things in general as a whole, right? So far, Purdy has looked really good. I know he threw two interceptions Sunday, but his hand was tipped on both of them. So I can't really blame him for those two. But other than that, okay, maybe the last two games his completion percentage wasn't what it was, but he was leading the league, I believe, in yards per pass. We've seen him thrown a lot more, but now even better than that is that he's been able to utilize his rushing game a lot more, and it's for the most part been great, which is just another level for his game to be elevated at. But here's another thing I've been noticing. Opening week against the Jets, we ran the ball religiously. You know, we did it in the Viking game too, although I thought Shanahan stopped using the run when things started to get rough. Against the Rams, same thing. I thought we stopped using the run. Last week, well, obviously, that was a win. We were winning in that game for a very long time, but I don't think he stopped using the run. I just think we started to pull away. This week, I felt, why did you stop running the ball? Why did we stop pounding the ball? Because Jordan Mason was doing damage. Now, we did get to see Isaac Ariendo some more. He only had 5 carries. He had himself a nice kick return, too. But why did we stop running the ball? Why did our ground game stop being used? We were beating them up front, left and right. They weren't being able to stop us on the ground. You saw in the third quarter, Jordan Mason was just gaining momentum with that stiff arm. Another element to his game that he's added. He seems to get better as the game goes on, and we stop running the ball. And why? I don't understand that, especially knowing you don't have a kicker. And on that note, to be objective, I understand that you want to get chunks of yards with the pass game in there and not have to worry about getting stopped at the 35 of the opponent and having Wishnowsky kick a field goal. Okay, I understand that. But you know what? At this point, I would have wished that they would have trusted Wishnowsky to try and kick a field goal. I mean, he's a kicker. He's a punter. He hit a 25-yarder. Even if he misses it, you figure, all right, it's the same thing. It's the same thing as giving the ball up on fourth down when you think about it, give or take a few yards. I mean, if you're us and you're at the 35-yard line of your opponent and you go to kick a field goal and you don't get it, that offense starts at the 35. If you're us and you're at the 35-yard line and it's fourth and, 6, and you get 3 more yards, now you're at the 32. Okay, it is a little bit of a difference, but not much. So what do you have to lose? Also, I always thought that punters could sort of adjust and be able to kick field goals. I thought that they prepared for that sort of thing. I guess that doesn't happen all the time, And I can't blame anybody for Jake Moody getting hurt. I mean, Moody, give him credit. He stuck his neck out there, literally, and got hurt. But I think that's another knock on the special teams kick return, especially. Because for the most part, the special teams didn't play bad this week. You saw the block of the field goal and then the recovery by Diamador Lenore. But all season long, I think it's been an Achilles tendon, which really sucks. So now we're without Moody, and we got this guy right in there who's got pretty good stats, who's been around. So I don't think it'll be too bad. I think it should work just about fine. But there's a lot of things going on here, and I think that some way, shape, or form things have to be fixed. And I don't know how long that's going to take, but I can tell you this. There was that post I had put up that I had seen somewhere else talking about when we were 4-6 2 years ago, we still were able to make the NFC Championship game against the Rams. Right. And that was with Jimmy Garoppolo. But here's the problem. This is this year now. You can't always base things off the past. Now we're here and we're 2-3 and we've lost 2 games to divisional rivals, 2 games we should have won. And now you're going up against another divisional rival off a short week, going to Seattle, which, of course, we know is never an easy thing, although we've sort of had their number the last couple of years. So this game, Thursday, is a do-or-die game, as I see it. Win, and you salvage a lot because you go 500, you knock Seattle down to 500, and we're tied for first. Lose, and you're 2-4, and you got to hope that Arizona loses and the Rams lose. And at 2-4, I mean, there's not that much difference between 2-4 and 4-6 percentage-wise, although it is different because you have more wins involved. But what I mean is it's still 2 games below 500. So it does give me hope that they would be able to pull up out of that like they did when they were 4-6. But you don't even want to think about that because Seattle's coming off a very disappointing loss to the Giants. Right? I don't know if anybody saw that game. I watched the end of it. If the Giants were able to beat Seattle, there's no reason why we should not be. But let's not jump before we run here. Let's just talk about Sunday's disaster, man. So again, Purdy, the rushing game, the offensive line has not been great. They've given up now, I think, 12 sacks, which almost equals out to 2 per a game or 2 and a little bit more. Hasn't been great. It's been okay. I like Pooney. I think he's great. I like, obviously, Trent Williams. I like Aaron Banks. Brendel and Colton McKivitz have kind of been question marks. I would say more McKivitz than Brendel. Although Sunday, again, I thought that they protected Purdy well. It wasn't that, really. And the run blocking has been pretty spectacular. If you go to the defensive side of the ball, there's our problem. The defense has been a problem. I don't know if anybody else is aware of this, sees it, or agrees with me, or disagrees with me. The defense, especially up front, has been the problem. There were no adjustments made late in the game Sunday when you knew they were pounding the ball with Connor. and they were just running over the middle of the field. And I can't understand why. I can't understand how Connor was able to get that first down. I think it was 2nd and 9 or whatever it was, and he was able to run, then get hit, then spin. And there was lack of pressure on Kyler Murray too. Even though we were to generated what, maybe, I don't know, 2, 3 sacks, whatever it is when we look at the stats, but there's not been enough pressure on quarterbacks the way there has been the last 2 years. So that's one thing. Devondre Campbell has been a question mark. Okay, big time. Looking at the defensive backfield now, we're without Talanoa Huffanega, but Shavarius Ward has been a little bit of a question mark. Okay, I think Diamador, like I said, Sunday has played really well. I think Jair Brown has played well, and I think Malik Mustafa has a lot of upside. But other than that, I don't understand. Things don't look right on that defensive side of the ball. In that game Sunday, we saw Connor rather, running the ball and continuing to gain momentum. I think he had somewhere in the 80s when it comes to yards, maybe 86, 89. A big chunk of that was in the second half. A big chunk of that was on that one possession. Michael Wilson killed us, right? It wasn't so much Marvin Harrison the second. I think he only had 2 catches, but Michael Wilson hurt us. So, look, they had every excuse to lose that game. Halfway through it in the fourth quarter, I told myself they don't deserve to win this game. I'm sorry. They just don't deserve to win it. They didn't do enough good things to win it, especially in the clutch. And that has to do, obviously with performance, but I think there were, look, I think there were things that we could have done more of offensively. Like I said, I don't know why we're not utilizing Juice more. I mean, I think we've all been saying this for a long time. I still don't understand that. Um, I don't get why we come away from the running game. I also don't understand why, um, you know, we came out throwing on that first possession. Did anyone see that we went 3-and-out? I didn't get that. I really didn't understand that. Why weren't we running the ball? Why weren't we doing what we usually do, and it's run the ball? I don't get it. I sometimes question, sometimes you come out that first drive, and that first drive to me is kind of, everything. It's really important because it really sets up the rest of the game. And, from that point on, the next thing we know, Arizona gets the ball back and Kyler Murray's galloping down the field like a madman. I mean, just running like a 4-2, beating the hell out of the defense. Nobody even near him. That was fucking sad. I thought that was just plain sad. And again, everything but the fourth quarter. They couldn't run the ball really well. We kept Harrison in check. Offensively, their defense wasn't really penetrating. I don't know. Again, I don't know whether we found a way to lose or whether we didn't do enough to win. And sometimes it's a little bit of both. Like I noticed in that game and the Ram game, the thing we didn't do was put our foot down on this team's neck. Like really try and rip it open. And even though you didn't have Moody, I think there were opportunities to do it, but we just didn't do it. I also don't know why you didn't get more at Isaac Ariendo. 5 carries. I don't get it. One of the good things I thought was Brandonaiyuk had a breakout game. He had a hell of a game. Deebo and Juwan Jennings, as far as the passing game were concerned, I think they only had 1 catch apiece, although Deebo did have a few carries. And George Kittle had himself another nice game. So it was a wasted effort for those guys. But again, like I said, if you were watching the game, you were slowly but surely watching it unravel away. And I think it's on a lot. I think it's on a few people. I think it's on Shanahan, obviously. I think it's on his inability to continue to run the game, run the ball. I think it was on the 2 interceptions. Look, tip passes, man. That's going to happen. They happen to hit Purdy's hand, but I will say that maybe if they protected him a little better. Other than that, I really don't know. I really don't know. As well as Arizona played in the second half, I didn't see a team that was better than us. So now, Seattle coming up, Dallas coming up, Kansas City coming up. I mean, these are the games you mark down on the schedule and you're looking at, And now at this point, you're really looking at them, but I think you're looking at them with three different pairs of eyes. So, like I said, Thursday is a do or die game for us. There's nothing else you can do in that game but win. The only other thing you can do in that game is blow them off the face of the earth at home, which would be really beneficial and would make me feel a lot better about this team. A win, I'll feel better about this team too. But these two shit losses that we've had back, not back to back, but against the Rams and against the Cardinals, it's just it's not going to do it. It's not going to cut it. And anytime you lose to a division rival who's not better than you, doesn't say much about you. Right now, I could definitely say we are not. Again, I repeat, we are not in the upper echelon of teams in this league. There's Kansas City, who I think is the best team in football. Minnesota is 5-0. They're not a true 5-0. They're not going to beat Kansas City if it goes that way, but they're playing really good. Hat off to coach Kevin O'Connell. And then you've got other teams like Atlanta's starting to turn the page. You've got Washington, who's really interesting, although I don't think they're going to win everything. I think they have enough to knock off the Eagles and take their place, sure. I still think the LA Chargers are going to be interesting. Denver is looking interesting, even though it's really boring football. I don't think they're going to win anything, but I don't think anyone's beating Kansas City right now. They're undefeated. They knocked off the Saints last night. They're doing it with a third string, fourth string running back, right? Carson Steele and Kareem Hunt. They're doing it without Rashee Rice. They're doing it with Juju's back there. He had a monster game last night. They were doing it without Kelsey really being a presence in the first four games. Their defense is lights out. I will say that their defense is lights out. Plus, Mahomes has turned the ball over a lot more than he did last year. So he's looking. I mean, he made some amazing plays last night, but still, I don't see anybody beating them right now. 5 games in, call the record what you want to say it is, but just go watch them and you tell me that they're able to get all these guys to fill in and still have so much luck. Like I said, you go from Isaiah Pacheco. You go to Carson Steele, the rookie, who had a pretty good game 2 weeks ago, and now you're down to Kareem Hunt. I mean, something special about that system. And I thought we had a system like that, but this year it doesn't look like it so far. I can't blame Sorensen 100% because, again, he's missing Javon Hargrave in the middle, and now the defense has just taken another loss other than Dre Greenlaw not being there, but now we lose Talanoa Huffanega for about a month after he tore ligaments in this game this past Sunday. But here's the upside to that. I love the way Jair Brown's playing, and I love the way this Malik Mustafa's playing. He had a really good game Sunday, so that makes me feel comfortable. What I'm questioning is Shavarius Wood. What's going on? Because, again, Sunday, Michael Wilson was open all day long. Excuse me. So I don't know what's going on, man. I just know that a win Thursday night is imperative. That's about it. In being simplifying it down to simple terms, that's what it comes down to. We need to win Thursday night in Seattle and go 3-3. And I don't think I'm overreacting by saying that. Now, lose that game, is the season over? No, I don't think so. Like Yogi Berra said, it ain't over till it's over. But it's not good. It's not good right now. It's not good right now. And anyone that says it is doesn't know what they're talking about. It's not good right now. But we're not at Titanic yet. We don't want to get there. So just going back through Sunday's stats, breaking down this game, again, I think that they just didn't do everything they could to win that game and take out Arizona. You let them hang around too much, and we deserve to lose that game, tell you the truth. We deserve to lose that game. But looking at some of the stats from that game individually, I thought was rather interesting because I don't think there was anyone on that team that really did anything so out of the universe amazing. But they did get the big plays from Kyler Murray when they needed it. He was 19 of 30 for 195, one touchdown, one interception. We did sack him once. It was Leonard Floyd. Connor had 86 yards on the ground. Murray had 83 yards on the ground, his long being a 14-yarder. And then through the air, like I said, Michael Wilson, 5 catches, 78 yards. But they were big catches, man. Trey McBride, 6 catches, 53 yards. They held Marvin Harrison to 36 yards on 2 carries, but he was targeted 7 times. So that's where the defense was working. And then we gave up 2 sacks, right? 2 interceptions and 2 sacks. Never going to really get it done. That was really, really disappointing. And then looking at our side of the ball for Sunday, again, Purdy's numbers: 19 of 35, 244, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. I mean, completion percentage wise, not anywhere close to his best. Jordan Mason had himself 89 yards, right? Brock Purdy had himself, let's see, 33 yards, made some big runs. Garendo had 5 carries, 22 yards, and again, I don't know why we stopped going to him. Through the air, it was the brandonaiyuk show: 8 catches, 147. George Kittle, 8 catches, 64 yards, and a touchdown. Juwan Jennings, Jordan Mason, and Deebosamuel all with only 1 catch apiece, which is never a good thing. Jordan Mason also lost the fumble Sunday. We saw it was a good hit at the last second, really. To tell you the truth, they just ripped it out. But Fred Warner once again led the team in tackles. This time he had 12. Devondre Campbell had 9, and Diamador had 8. We did get a sack from Leonard Floyd, and we did get an interception from Nick Bosa, which was a hell of a play. So it was a terrible loss. Those are the ones that stick with you. And then quickly, if we just break down some game stats here, total team stats, I should say. This is where I don't think the analytics lie too much. They tell a story, but I don't think they lie too much. Again, it's never, I'm just moving my phone. It's never easy to just go by that, but you have to consider it, especially after watching the game. We were beating them in first downs 22-19, which was impressive. And third down efficiency, they were 3 of 10. We were 6 of 11. Total yards was all 384 to their 358. And then passing was out 231 to their 189. Rushing was their 169 to 153. Penalties wasn't a bad thing, only 4 for 21, and we held the ball for about 5 minutes more than they did, and we still couldn't get a win. So 2-3 going into Thursday night's game. It's a must-win, and anything else other than that will not be acceptable. It's against Seattle, a division rival. And that's a pretty damn good team over there in Seattle for the most part. Geno Smith, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, the big 3-headed snake at wide receiver, Noah Fant at tight end, and they got themselves a pretty decent defense. So what we have to figure out over the next coming weeks is what's our identity this year? What do we stand for? Who are we as a team? Because right now it doesn't look like we're anybody. We're just we're too flapping in the breeze, and you can't have that. So I hope that things get tightened up quickly by Thursday night. We need to see that running game expanded a lot more. I want to see more of it, and I'd love to see Juice get either some of those carries or some nice dump passes outside, because it would be just so beneficial for the offense. I hope Purdy continues to use his feet. I really like him as running the ball. Hope they dial up some more stuff for Deebo, because it's looking really, really lackadaisical what they're digging up for him. So, look, all we could do is hope for Thursday. That's all we could do. Like I said, we're down another man, Huffanega. Not good, but we're getting good play from Jair Brown and Malik Mustafa. So it's good to see these young cats get in there and be, contributing to the defense or the offense. But again, Shanahan's got to answer for this one a little bit. Foot off the brake again, and when you take your foot off the gas, rather, this is what happens. So can't happen again. Thursday, we need a win, folks. We need a win. It's the only way it's going to happen. We need a big win. And that Seattle team, I think we're a better team on paper, but let's see Thursday night, right? We got to hope a lot of things fall into place. So 24-23 loss to the Cardinals. Painful, horrible. Ruined the rest of my fucking day. Just looking at Shanahan's face at the press conference, he looked like he just wanted to hide. It couldn't have been a real good situation when he went back. I'm sure frustrations were high, but Ninernut coming back at you with episode 62. I'll be coming back at you again maybe before this game this Thursday. In football news, head coach Robert Saleh of the New York Jets was fired. The 49ers ex-defensive coordinator and new head coach for the New York Jets is one-time 49ers linebacker Jeff Ulbrich, who, in case you don't remember, was a hell of a linebacker. Played with a lot of heart. Went to Hawaii, played on some bad Niner teams, led them in tackles, I believe 2 years out of a few. He's got the Jet defense dialed in, playing great. So my hat off to him. I hope he really has a lot of luck with them in New York. And we'll see what happens to Coach Saleh. I hope that oh, wow, somebody wants to join in, man. This is cool. Mard 5761, going to hit him up. Let's see. See if he joins in here. That's really cool of him. Yeah, man. It's a shame to see Coach Saleh get fired, but he wasn't doing it as a head coach at all. Hey, brother, what's doing? Hello?
How are you?
Hey, what's up, bro? How are you?
Oh, I'm good.
Oh, man, thank you so much.
Cool. I didn't know I was live on your thing. Hey, I was just, I don't know, you just started or whatever, but what do you think? What do you think about D. Winters? You think he might help a little bit in the linebacking in place of, or play more than Devondre Campbell?
Yeah, dude, that's a great point. I think at this point, man, we don't have much of a choice. He had a hell of a hit on Sunday. He rattled somebody Sunday.
I thought he was gonna, out of those cartoons.
Yeah.
Hit the guy in the head and would spin all the way around.
Yeah.
I thought that guy was gonna.
Yeah. That was a gnarly hit, man. Yeah, it's like you draft these guys. He played really good in preseason. And look, I like Campbell a lot, man. I think he's a good side-to-side tackler, but trying to cover the receivers, he's loading the box. That run by Kyler Murray was like, I know he's great on his feet, but you figure a year back from a knee injury, he's not going to outrun the whole defense. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
they took some bad angles on him too.
Yeah, man.
He got on the outside and he can motor. He's not slow. So they just, I don't know, they just took some bad angles on the guy, but
it was a good fake too. I'll give them that. It was a nice fake.
Yeah.
It faked me out, man.
What did you think of that? Was it me or anyone? Did you notice how poor they were tackling in the fourth quarter?
Oh, yeah.
Like they couldn't bring nobody down. I'm like, come on. I know, I don't even know how hot it was. They said it was hot. I have no idea, because obviously I'm in the Midwest here.
Oh, okay.
Central Illinois, so definitely not 90 out here. But man, I know it's hot for everyone playing, but gosh, they played really well, pretty well in the first half, and in the second half, it seemed like they rest on their laurels and said, okay, well, I think we'll just pack it in, man. We got a 13-point lead, and just stop playing. Or it seemed like.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. when Moody went down, you figure, all right, the guy. I give the guy some credit. He stuck his. I mean, that was a gnarly hit his leg took, but you figure, all right, that's not going to be the end all be all because we were up. But like you said, as it started to chip away down the road, you're like, something is not right here. I feel like you're watching a fight. And like you're not knocking this guy out. Like, I don't get why you're not. And again, I wonder, as much as I love Shanahan too, I'm questioning, why did you stop running the ball? Because if you saw in third and fourth quarter, Mason was like stiff arming. He knocked Buda Baker down. He was running people over. He was getting better. I I just don't get it. Like, why aren't you putting your foot on these guys' throats? The Rams too, same thing.
Exactly.
Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell right there. I mean, Jordan Mason had 14 carries. You see right there. Not that you want to work him to death, because I don't know. We got what is it? Durando. He played a little bit. He didn't look terrible.
No.
But I think he needs. Maybe you got to keep bringing him. Maybe give Mason a series off, and then let Durando play a little bit, see what he can do. And then bring Mason back. Give him a breather. You don't want him. Obviously too, it's hot. I get it.
Yeah.
So that's why you got other people. Rotate them out. Give them a series off.
Yeah.
They stopped running the ball, and then there was some stuff with. You ever watch that big lineman?
McKivitz.
No, the guy, he's an ex-player. What the heck's his name? But he was talking about how Purdy's dancing around, but nobody's getting open. It's hard for him. Brock Purdy does not throw. He does throw in a tight window, which is fine.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like to throw it where it's up for grabs or somebody else can get a hand on it, obviously, if he can get it done like that. So he was having trouble. He's running around trying to buy time for somebody to get open, and no one was getting open.
Yeah, that's a really good point too, and that's why I don't understand. All of us, so many people have been like saying it for years. Why don't we use Jusek more out of the backfield as a wide receiver?
That's another thing. Remember the old draw play?
Oh man, I wish. I wish.
Yeah, you fake, have him line up behind Mason, fake the Mason, have him draw. All he needs is a crack. That dude has got some wide shoulders. He's a moose.
Yeah, man.
He can run pretty well. So if you don't try it, how do you know if it's going to work or not?
See that?
You know what I mean?
That's where Shanahan is rigid. That's always. I love him, but I mean that's where you're always like. You know him. He probably has all those plays called out before the game, and I think anything that alters that, it's like it. But you gotta be able to do that. You gotta be able to change things up, because in Baltimore, Jusek was a beast out of the backfield.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I mean, I again, like that's what I was saying on Sunday. Is this franchise, as well as I do, fullbacks was such a big part of the franchise. Tom Rathman, William Floyd, Mark Edwards, right? Like we've been blessed with great ones. We got one, and we're not using him enough.
Yeah, no, I know.
I don't get it, man.
Yeah, we do that old thing where you send Deebo in motion, usually lines up like in the slot.
Yeah.
And he'll go to the left, and then he'll come to the right, and then Purdy will either pitch it to him or hand it off. That play, everybody knows that play.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you got to do something, use other people. Yeah, obviously no CMC. We don't have that young rookie kid back, Ricky.
Yeah.
He's got a couple weeks away.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Be a little more creative. You got people, but he's not utilizing everyone. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I don't think.
No, I agree with you, man. I don't, somebody Sunday was saying he doesn't play rookies, and there's there's
Yeah.
there's coaches that just like don't believe in it. Like Phil Jackson never believed in it with the Lakers. Pat Riley didn't believe in it. Even I'm in New York, so sometimes I'll catch. I'm not a Knicks fan, but I'll watch them just for whatever. Thibodeau doesn't play rookies either, and when you got three on your bench, especially in a sport, where you can't carry as many, you figure, well, what if they're good, let them play. Because I watched Kansas City last night, and that Xavier Worthy kid, they're using him, and they have to, but they're using him every which way they can.
Yeah, he looked pretty good.
Yeah, we almost had him too.
Yeah, Kansas City always finds a way.
Oh man.
They have a little bit of help, but they always find a way, though.
Oh, dude, and they're down to their third running back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the team.
Problems.
Yeah, and they find a way, man. They find a way. Richard Sherman had a really good take. He was really concerned. He's like, they don't look. There's something off, and I mean, like you said, you could feel it, even like in the defensive backfield, like Sunday. I mean, for the most part, they were playing good. Lenore played good. Javarius Ward don't look right.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is. Last year, he was like at a high, man.
Yeah, I think too. Aiyuk is starting around into shape, so he's coming around. He's still a little raw yet, but then again, he missed all the training camp.
Yeah.
So he's rough. I don't know. I think Juwan Jennings is banged up too. Something with his arm or his hand.
Yeah, he got caught Sunday.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how healthy he is. And then now they just put Ufanga on IR. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, he's out for a month.
Yeah, so they put him out with a bum wrist. So yeah, the Niners, they're not going to be calling the 49ers. They're going to be called San Francisco Walking Wounded.
Yeah, man, that's the way it feels. And I don't. Thursday's such a quick game, man. That's a quick turnaround. I hope that they just go back to pounding the ball.
Yeah, you would think. Try to a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
That's going to open up the passing game.
Isn't that always? That's always been the way, right?
Yeah, the passing game works off the run, the play action. You don't know what they're doing. You fake the Mason or whomever. If you got Juice there without Mason, or even if Grundle's for whomever.
Yeah.
But, you fake and then you get the play action. Somebody, you hold the line, you hold one of the backers long enough for somebody to flash, and then you got the quick five yarder over the middle.
Yep.
Kittle or whoever's over there.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with you, man. Especially now with this new kicker, you gotta wonder. You don't have Robbie. I was like really wondering if they were gonna find Robbie Gould again. Where is he? Call him up, man.
Yeah, no, I think he hung up his cleats. That's over a year ago. He's probably like, nah, I haven't kicked the ball since you guys let me go.
Yeah.
I think I'm done.
Yeah. Still a lot of season left, though.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm just worried about that defense doesn't look right. I mean, I know Connor's a great running back, but there were a couple of times Sunday I'm like, yo, listen, he's getting 7 yards a carry. There's got to be something. I know you're missing Hargrave in the middle, but there's got to be something. There's got to be a change or something. You know where it's going. And they were continually kept running the ball. I'm like, damn, they're going to keep pounding.
Yeah, they did. Then they did almost took a page out of 49er playbook, pounding the ball, and then get Kyler Murray to throw these little flare passes, and then that one deep floater that he threw, I think they put a blitz.
Yeah.
Throw, and he got it away, and it had a lot of air under it. But then our backer was back there but he was playing so far off that he couldn't come back to come back to defend it real well, and then the guy caught it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, what's going on with that?
Yeah. There were a lot of blown opportunities down the road, and again, like they didn't have a lot of penalties, thank God. There weren't a lot of mistakes like there had been. We didn't give up sacks. The 2 interceptions, they tipped his hand. I mean, oh, dude.
Especially that one to Bozo.
Yeah. Oh, that was beautiful.
I don't know what he saw. Maybe the sun got in his eyes.
He
threw it like right to him. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
He was beating himself up on the sidelines. You can see that they were showing it. Yeah, he was shaking his head, and I'm like, well, he might have. That sun's bright. It's hot. It's like, he might have looked and thought he saw an opening, and then Bosa's right there. Maybe he just, he saw it flash before his eye or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great play, man. It was a great athletic play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Oh yeah.
I was hoping he would have scored, but yeah, too much field, man. Nick was probably pooped after that run.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it was really it was extremely hot there. It was weird for this time of year there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But shoulda, woulda, coulda, man.
Yeah, it's all good.
We'll see Thursday, my brother.
All right, man. Hey, nice speaking to you live.
Oh, dude.
I'm Mark, by the way. That's Mark. What is it? 5761. Yeah, I'm Mark. That's just my name with my middle initial, so I just shortened it.
Pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for listening and calling in. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, appreciate you putting the podcast
Oh,
out.
thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
I always like to hear your comments. You got some good ones. You go right to the point. You don't sugarcoat and all that. I like that.
Dude, I don't know how to, bro. Like, I see, like, it's funny. I'll watch, I don't know who, I think it was last night. I can't stand, I respect Aikman as a player, right? But as a commentator, him and Buck, I can't stand. I'm like, would you guys stop with the dancing around and just get to the damn thing already and stop? I can't stomach that. Just call it like it is and whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Same with Collinsworth, too. He's still salty because the Niners just bought that done.
I always say that to my pops. I'm like, he's just mad because he knows we rang his bell. That's it.
Yeah, that was the year where I think Chris Collinsworth, I can't remember, I think he only had 2 catches for like 30 yards or something. The guy that really stood out for Cincinnati was that tight end Ross.
Yeah.
About 7 or 8 for, I don't know, 110 or whatever. He was all over the place.
Yeah.
He was like a young Kelsey for Cincinnati back then.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Collinsworth didn't do jack.
No, man, no. Yeah, I can tolerate him a little bit more now, but Aikman gets on my bad side sometimes. I just don't. I always feel like I'm like, no wonder this guy wouldn't be rooting against us because we had such a rivalry against you.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah. But you heard about Saleh, huh?
Yeah, old Robert. He's I think he's on hiatus. The people been chiming in during the day. They said he's not doing any more football. I guess he's gonna go on vacay for a while with his family or whatever. I don't know, but it's good. I would take the rest of the year off if that was me. And I'm not a football coach, not even close. But that's what I would do. I'd be like, man, my family, they're growing up before my eyes, whatever. Just go hang out with them,
Yeah.
And then next year, I don't know, off season or March or whenever, somebody will give you a buzz. I guarantee you that.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Especially as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he'll be back.
Oh yeah. That's where certain guys are just not great head coaches. Certain guys are great defensive coordinators. Certain guys are great offensive coordinators. So
yeah,
you know.
well, Rob Saleh, I thoroughly believe he wasn't hired to be Rodgers' water boy. He was hired to get the Jets a defense. Obviously, you have a good defense, you hope you go deep into the playoffs. So, defenses win championships, not offenses.
Well, I think a lot of people, or like a lot of the you don't hear that as much. Unfortunately, I was just telling my nephew that, my young nephew, I'm like, defenses win games. Trust me, defensive game.
Absolutely.
Because you know how it is now. The agenda is everything has got to be. It's a passing league. It's a passing league. That's all you hear. But that's not the case. Teams are running the ball. Defenses are playing defense and winning games. So, it all comes back around.
Yeah, it's just a revolving. It's a revolving thing. And obviously the game is so much faster than it was back when, even when Aikman played in the '90s.
Yeah.
So these linemen are running faster than tight ends.
Yeah, it's scary.
That's the thing, and they're coming at you. You barely got to take a breath, and you got to react.
Yeah.
So that's what that. So yeah, I don't know. I just hope they can right the ship. As long as hopefully we don't get Brock Purdy hurt, or we don't get any more serious injuries. I think we should be around towards the end. At least you would hope so. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Thursday comes quick, so I think Thursday is one of those do or die games. You don't want to be 2-4.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I hope not.
Yeah, you got to beat one of these division teams.
Yeah, well, they're going to be on a short week too, so then they lost. So something's going to have to happen.
Yeah, exactly. That was an ugly one. I caught the end of that. It was ugly.
Oh, the Giants. Yeah.
Holy shit, that was ugly.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, man, we need a W, buddy. We big time.
Okay.
All right, my brother. It's been a pleasure. You too. Talk to you again soon. All right, take care.
Yeah, bye now.
Take care. That's awesome when somebody calls, and that's really cool of you guys. Really appreciate you guys listening, man. It's like I said, it's a special. I always say, man, being a 49ers fan, I mean, at least to me, I'm sure for all you guys, is just more. There's so much more to it than just like, just you think. Maybe I'm wacky, but like I think about them, constantly. I mean, I could. My brain is like wackadoo as it is, but there's always an element of San Francisco 49ers in there during the day. Even if I'm doing whatever, I'll always come back to like, okay, so no Moody, you know what I mean? Wright's in there. It's just we're a special group, man. I think it's the greatest fan base in sports. I still think it's one of the best organizations in sports. Even though we haven't won a title in a bit. I think in terms of ownership, in terms of class, in terms of athletes, in terms of just so many different aspects of sports. It's the best franchise, or one of, with the best fan base, man. I mean, it's a special group. Real quick funny story. I was lucky with this one. I had an ex-girlfriend who was great, man. She worked in advertising, was able to get us tickets on the field because she, like I said, worked in advertising. So her company had, they had access to the field. You were barred off, but I was close to, at the time. This was Jim Harbaugh's 49ers, I want to say. Yeah, it was the same year that Cap took over for Alex Smith. We destroyed the Jets. I think it was 42-10, 42-7. But when I tell you, the red jerseys at MetLife Stadium had outnumbered anything. Not just in the stadium itself, seat wise. I'm talking about in the parking lot. When I came out, we were like circling all the Jet fans. It was embarrassing, but people had come from all over. There were people like myself in New York who were just like, 49er crazy. So again, I just think it's just such a special fan base, man. That's why, when we get losses like we've had the last, I consider the Viking loss a legit loss. We didn't deserve to win that game. The Vikings beat us. The Ram game and the Cardinal game are the ones that kill you, that you come back at the end of the season and say, you see, shoulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Well, shoulda, woulda, coulda, don't cut it. And great teams play great. Like we were just saying, Kansas City finds a way to win. No Rashee Rice, right? Juju Smith-Schuster, whatever. No Isaiah Pacheco, Carson Steele, and Kareem Hunt. They find a way to win, man. It's amazing. It's amazing to me. You got Mahomes throwing picks. They find a way to win. I mean, even if you watched that game last night, you knew. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. This is going to end. They can't hold on to them. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it also has to do with my niece not coming by to watch the games with me, is why we're losing, because she's usually a good luck charm. So I'm holding her accountable live as I say that. She's a good luck charm. She always comes by with a Purdy jersey and good things happen. But she hasn't been here, and this is what happened. No, I'm only kidding. But yeah, man, we need to win Thursday. I'm curious to know what's going to happen in the upcoming weeks. They're talking good about CMC. They're not pushing him in practice, but they're liking what they're seeing. He's been able, I believe, to move those legs around without any pain with the tendonitis in the calf area. Ricky Purcell, rather, I think they should be getting him back in another 2 weeks, maybe, if he's ready to go. That'll be good to see. I'm curious to know if we're going to make any moves come trade deadline for defensive tackle. And that's not a knock at Kevin Givens, Malik Collins, or Elliott at all. At all. I think they're playing really good. But I wonder if we're going to make a move to upgrade or just get a bigger body or just something else in there at trade deadline. I mean, we've done it before with CMC. It'll be interesting to see if, God forbid, anything else happens injury-wise that we need to get in there. But or offensive line, if they choose to go that way. I don't know. We'll have to keep our eyes open for that. But let's just hope for the best for Thursday, man. Real important game. All right. Much love and respect to all you guys for joining me live. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back with some more stuff this week. Some news comes up. You're always welcome to hit me up whenever, man. Peace.